Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2022 love reading for singles. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. This is the Seven of Pentacles. So we have to be patient during this time. And why I'm smiling is because we don't want to be. I'm just really seeing like, oh my gosh, patience again. Like I have to be patient. I have to wait. I have to, center myself. That's what Spirit is saying. Spirit is really telling us that right now it's in divine timing, it's not in ours. And that we'll be able to celebrate as everything falls into alignment. And that as hard as we push to get things to be a certain way or have it be just right, we're going to find the further it moves from us, the further the goal of having that relationship. Now, if we want just a quick relationship, a quick, type of I'm not alone for the moment type of thing, then those can come by really, really quickly. But I really do see that we're moving towards quality. We want quality over quantity. And Spirit is saying that is taking time, and that, divinity really does have it in their hands. They're telling us to be patient. They're telling us to wait. There's also a need to release some negative energy and negative patterns that we've been holding on to from past relationships, from our childhood, just ingrained in us, even from past lives, just ingrained in our energy field and in our psyche. So we're going to find that we're really breaking a lot of, I don't know why it's coming up as taboos, but things in our head that we thought, oh, I can never do this, or it will never be like that, or oh, it would never. We're looking at it and saying, why? Why when it comes to love? Like I'm opening my heart up to what, and I know this sounds so new agey and everything, but I'm opening my heart up to what the universe has in store for me. But it's really saying I'm putting this into higher power, and I'm releasing trying to control it, because we're not going to be able to control what's coming. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is self-mastery. Oh my gosh, Aries, you come across so strong. I mean, so strong. And that can actually be very intimidating when it comes to a partner. So self-mastery is this alignment of our chakras, this alignment of ourselves, this real sense of, I know who I am. And so for certain people, they're going to find that very attractive. For other people, you're going to be like, why aren't I getting, either asked out or, finding that people want to take my number as much as they were doing before. There's this real sense of either for the mainstream person, we're a little bit too intense right now. So being aware of that is going to be very important. So, oh goodness. Sorry, I moved my mic so things are better for you guys to hear. It just means that it's a little bit harder to get to places. So let's look at what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. angels, and spirit guides. So let's see here what we have going on. Okay. Okay, this is really interesting. So where we are right now is we have Cancer energy coming forward. So it can be that a Cancer is in our sphere of like, I'm really into this person type of deal. But it's also the sense of I'm embracing my heart more and I want to take the reins. When it comes to what I consciously want and what I subconsciously want, they're starting to become in alignment. I'm starting to do my homework when it comes to what I want from love, where I'm going, where I'm headed. And so again, there's this fierceness to us. There's this determination. There's this focus. There's this knowledge to us that we're sitting there and thinking, wow, this is a really great thing. Others can find it very overwhelming because we are so self-assured. We are so determined. We are so focused. And again, we are taking those reins and saying, this is what I want for my love, for myself. This is my love language. This is what's appropriate for me. This is what I need. And I'm really not putting up with everybody else's nonsense. So we do come across very intense. It moves us. And Spirit is saying, make sure, Dane, that you're letting them know that the intensity is not a bad thing. You will find that person with that same intensity, with that same focus, with that same drive, with that same, honor of self and respect for self. But these people are a little bit quieter, a little bit, more in the shadow. So they don't come out as prominently as, the good time Charlies type of thing. So it moves us then to our challenge. And this is the Magician. We are being challenged to really embrace our magic, to say, this is what I love. This is who I am. This is what I need from life. And really letting ourselves, shine, just letting ourselves shine and saying, this is me. We're finding that challenging. We're going to think, oh no, it's too overwhelming. It could be somebody even told us, you're a little bit intense. What does that mean? And we've been dissecting that ever since. Now, if it's being a little bit intense with insecurities or doubts or fears or things like that, sure, okay. But if it's being intense with, this is who I am, these are the things that I'm into, this is what I'm focusing on, if our likes don't add up with another person's, that's okay. We get to move on. So it's almost like we don't want to let ourselves shine. We don't want to truly be who we are because for some reason, somebody either made fun of it, and I'm seeing this a while ago. Like we almost learned how to kind of pull into ourselves. I'm seeing, instead of spreading our wings, we folded our wings, and it's like, don't fly too high. But this isn't an Icarus thing. It's not having our ego fly too high that we get, burnt, that we fall into the sea, that we've overestimated ourselves and gotten caught up in the moment. No, it's just saying that we don't want to fly too high because we don't want people to notice us. So just be mindful of that. It moves us to what we're focusing on. It's the 10 of Pentacles. We can be very career focused during this time, but we want to have that money. We want to have that security for the family, for what we want to build, or for the partnership, or for the traveling, or for whatever it is that we want to share with a partner. This is what we're building. So the 10 of Pentacles is coming in. And what we're focusing on is a sense of community. So what Spirit is also saying is get out there. Get out there, meet people, talk with people. You'll be surprised at the people that come into your life because there's this sharing of richness. Because I'm seeing here that, yes, we're focused on money, but it's not necessarily the money that we are obsessed with. It's like, okay, this is the richness that I want to grow in. And so we can find that community is just as important as our jobs, as our work, as, the accumulation of wealth. But we're also focusing on being blessed, seeing how a person interacts with a group. Like we could have a family picnic coming up and a person that we're interested in or that we've been dating for a while. And it's like, okay, let me see how you're going to interact in this situation. How are you going to interact with children? How are you going to interact with people that you don't know, people that are older or younger, everything in between. Where do you stand on all this? So that is also going to be something that's important to us during this time. It's like, I need to look at the bigger picture. This makes sense for the past that's coming in, judgment. We have judged ourselves really harshly. And again, that's why we saw the wings that were folded in on us. We were in this box. And again, we've been judged harshly. Somebody has found like this core sense of who we are and said, it's not really my thing. And we took it very personally. Instead of saying, okay, I'm not for you. That's great. There are like 8 billion people in the world. we said, oh my gosh, how can I change me? Or, oh my gosh, I'm devastated. I can't be for anybody. That's just not true. So what we're going to see here is that we're coming out of the box. We're really starting to accept ourselves, accept what we desire, accept what we want, accept what we need. And we're also starting to put things into order, into perspective. Now, our strength during this time is the Eight of Swords. We have been so stinking introspective that we have tied ourselves up in knots. So our strength is that, yes, we've looked at ourselves, but now it's also that, no, I'm not doing that again. I am not going down that road where I become so tangled in my thoughts, in my fears, in my what ifs, in the, dissecting every nuance of every word. I'm not doing that. There's a period and stop. It's like, I'm not doing that at all. That can appear to be arrogance to other people. It's not arrogance. It's that I'm not walking down that road. I refuse to walk down that road of, Spirit is saying self-hatred. I'm not seeing it as something so intense, but it was a fact that we didn't like certain parts of ourselves. We thought, oh my gosh, I should change this. Oh my gosh, I should change that. But if we're coming from a place of love and respect and dignity for us, we have to stop overthinking. We have to stop worrying. There can also be a sense, now, if we're of a certain age, women or men, or however you identify, it's like, well, what if I want to have children? What if I want to do this? What if I want to do that? Is the clock ticking too much? Or what if I'm older and, I want a partner, but I'm always told it's so much harder. And we've been overthinking it. Now we're looking at that and saying, I don't have time for this nonsense anymore. I'm not talking myself out of love. There are enough people around us who will tell us how foolish we're being. That's fine. We don't need to listen. It is time for us to focus on what we want and what we need. Now, our near future is the Two of Pentacles. I actually see two people really being interested in you, Aries. Two people coming in, and it's like we have to balance the two of them. It's like, ooh, well, what is going on here? How do I move forward like this? We have to be so balanced within ourselves because we're going to be pulled one way and then the other. And it's like, am I this person or am I that person? And we can start to kind of take on their personality traits. Like we can start to be a little bit different when we're with one person, a little bit different when we're with the other. So just really having a firm balance of ourselves is going to be so important. There is a love that is blooming, most definitely, or a friend that is coming forward that we've seen, but now we're seeing in a different light. And it's like, oh, I didn't expect this. But I do see two people coming forward, two situations that we're going to be in. And it's like, okay, instead of you becoming them, which will be such an easy thing to do, like saying, okay, this is what they want, this is what they need, I can do that. Because we're embracing our strength so much here, it's how can I stand with them and what feels the most natural, what is the most comfortable. So it then moves us to our suggested approach. And I love the Queen of Swords, especially mixed with an Aries energy. So this is air sign energy coming in, because our suggested approach is just to be super honest with ourselves, just to be super forthright with what we want and where we're headed and what we see for us. Because I see this in the count of two. Now, these two people coming forward, right? But this could be in two days, 2 weeks, 2 months. It could be up to 2 years. So do be patient with yourself. I know everybody hates it when the twos go into the years, or when the numbers go into the years. But this is us really being honest with what we want and figuring out our own voice, figuring out where we stand, figuring out what we stand for, how determined are we, how focused are we, how driven are we, and seeing, who aligns with that. The Queen of Swords is very nurturing, but she's the most masculine of the queens, which usually gets her written off as being, kind of the witch, in with a B, right, of the queens. And that's not true. She just knows, I put in this much effort. I put in this much time. This is how I've sculpted my life. This is what I want. And I'm not going to apologize for it, and I'm not going to walk away from it. And so we're trying to see how the world that we are sculpting, the world that we have created, fits with another person. And for some of us, I'm not saying this to dash anybody's hopes, but if we're listening to this and we're really sitting there and wondering, do I even want a relationship? I'm just listening because it's always fun to listen, but I'm really happy being single right now. Then embrace your singleness. Embrace your voice and what you desire. You might be shocked to find that you trip over love accidentally, because I do really see that coming forward for Aries. But it can also be that, my heart is open, but I'm really in love with me, and I'm happy with that. So we're looking at things differently, and the Queen of Swords can bring very different knowledge, very, kind of powerful, non-conformist energy coming forward. So we can think, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But the Queen of Swords doesn't really care what she's supposed to be doing. Our suggested approach is to say, what do I want? And where do my gifts lie? What is the most beautiful, powerful thing about me? And it moves us to what we need to know. There is vampiric energy around us. There is also a sense when it comes to the pentacles, when it comes to love, I really do see this as like the currency that we're putting into it, the time and the effort. This is something from our past that we put a lot of time and effort into that relationship. Now, understand that Spirit doesn't really care if this was a romantic relationship or if this was a nurturing relationship, meaning this could have been a parent, this could have been a teacher, this could have been, somebody who was even a friend who was supposed to be this nurturing force within our lives. But it could have been that we were dealing with a narcissist or just somebody who wasn't able to love. In a more extreme case, this could be dealing with abuse. All right. So here, there is the sense of I've closed down. I'm holding on to my energy because I don't want to be hurt again. This could have been going through a really bad breakup that when you went into it, you were this lovely, bright, beautiful person. And you came out of it broken and devastated and completely overwhelmed. And now you're single. You never thought you would be single again. And it's like, okay, well, how the heck do I navigate this? And I'm not going to be hurt this way. Because we do see here that our hopes and our fears are the Tower. We want a change. We want things to change so powerfully and so drastically that people look at our lives and are like, gobstop. They're like, Aries, what have you done? Like, this is amazing. It just blows everybody's mind. But we're afraid that our whole foundation is going to be ripped from us again. We need to look at the vampiric energy, the energy that was corruptive and corrosive, and say no to the strings that have been draining us. Say no to the patterns that we've been following. We might say, why do I always attract the same type of person? And we need to see where those patterns came from and why. We might misconstrued strength with inflexibility, bossiness, anger. So being really aware of this is going to be really important during this time, because our hope is that everything changes and everybody's just blown away. It's mind-blowing. Our fear is that the rug gets pulled out from underneath us again, and we're left there staring, thinking, what the heck has just happened? It moves us to our potential future. And that is the Queen of Pentacles. This is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is us presenting ourselves as very well put together, powerful individuals. I love her clothing. I just always look at it and think it's like the finest fabric that she's wearing, with the embroidery and the attention to detail that's put into everything. So we're presenting ourselves as richness, as class, as power, as prosperity. The person that we are meeting also projects themselves and presents themselves as richness, as royalty, as class. All right, so we might meet this person and think, oh, you're putting on airs, aren't you? Or wow, you think very, very haughtily of yourself. So I do see a little bit of a clash, but they also kind of size us up and think, oh, you think you're all that, do you? And that's because you're going to kind of be testing each other out. It's going to be the sense of, do you really have it all together? Or is this just going to be another lie that I'm dealing with? Is this going to be another person who's putting on this false facade, and I'm just going to have to waste my time figuring it out and figuring that there's nothing behind them. So here with the Queen of Pentacles, our potential future is rich and it is nurturing. We're very surrounded because we have the Queen of Wands. We now have the Queen of Pentacles. We're very surrounded by sacred feminine energy. That's going to be part of what grows us, what nurtures us, which brings us forward. The Magician, sacred masculine energy here, is magical, creative, intuitive. I almost see this like the horned one? The horned one? I think that's what they were called in Celtic mythology, where you'd go into the forest and like the high priestess would couple with the king, and there would be this coming together of spiritual knowledge and earthly presence. And I see that coming forward for us, and I see it that we're planting the seeds of what we want. We're really planting our intentions. So this would be a great month, the month of June, to really write down our intentions and say, this is what I want from a partner. We could write down what we don't want if we want to, but really writing down what we do want and being as specific as possible is going to be astoundingly beneficial. I've known people to do this and get 17 pages and, just really be as focused on what they want. Now, you might not get everything on that list, and you might get everything on that list. And when I say 17 pages, it's double spaced, right? And they then described, when I say compassionate, this is what I mean. When I say, honoring or loving or caring, this is what I mean. And really go into how you express your love and what your love language is for you. Because if you find somebody who's wonderful, but they don't express their love in the same way that you do, and it just becomes frustrating because it always seems like you're missing each other, you're the ships in the night, that can be something that leads to a breakup, even though you both are really great people. So just be aware of this. We're planting our seeds, we're looking at our intentions, but people are also seeing us as very rich, very prosperous, very bountiful, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Now, for some of us Aries, and I know this might sound funny to those who might be, cross-watching and saying, well, Aries can be really cold. Remember, Aries are the generals, right? Aries is the god of war. In Greek mythology, Aries is the god of war. So you could be more reserved than others would want. But also remember, in the mythology, Aries got together with Venus. Yes, they were married to different people, but Greek mythology, you got married for, social status and, or for wealth, and you had your affairs for love. So the people that, Aries was attracted to was pure love incarnate, and love was attracted to strength. So what we're seeing here is that we need to really embrace the heart of us and what we're looking for. I've noticed in relationships, a lot of times we go for the person who has what we're deeply seeking in our lives, and who brings that forward, or we go for the person with the same wound patterns as we do. So it just feels more comfortable. It feels more correct. But if we're challenging ourselves, embracing the heart, and knowing that we can be very empathic people, we can tend to put up walls and not have that empathy show as much as others do, or as much as maybe even the Aries who were taught that love, who were taught that love language at a very young age, who were taught, the cuddles and the kisses and just surrounded by love. So that's very natural for them. We could have been raised more reserved or not with that at all. So just be aware of your history, your story, of the way you express your love and how that's moving you forward. Because here I see you as a very empathic person. I see you as a person who is greatly embracing their heart, but might need to become more comfortable with that. Or, is embracing their heart and also saying, you know what? I'm seeing, as this general laying out these plans, that that person right now hasn't earned that trust yet. Okay? And I need to step back. So we're going to be a little bit more calculating than maybe some would want, or maybe even we would want to be. We could want to be very just expressive and exciting during this time. Those are going to be choices that we have to make, because there's a reserve around us, but there's a great sense of deeper emotional knowledge also around us that we need to focus inward before we focus it outward. So let's look at our past, our present, and our future. So here, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. This one right here. Okay. So the Ace of Wands for our present. Now, this is great because this is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift just for us. So the Ace of Wands is also sexual energy. It is prowess. It is passion. It is determination. We could have been stepping into more of our sensual, sexual selves, which can be absolutely beautiful. But this is a gift of passion. And we can see that our past, up until June, we're starting to look at what we really like in life, what we're really passionate about. It doesn't matter how old we are. We might never have asked these questions before, or really embraced our own knowledge of ourselves the way that we should have, the way that it's like, oh, but this is what I like to do on my free time. This is even like the way I like to have my food, instead of acquiescing always to somebody else, or acquiescing until we get so annoyed that then we just blow up. So here it's a real sense of not only looking at our passion in the sense of a sexual personal pleasure way, but looking at our passion in the sense of this is what makes me, passionate about my life, passionate about what I desire, passionate about what I need in my existence. And I need to find somebody who respects that, as I need to also respect that within me and not lose it to somebody else. So it moves us then to angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Our present. And this is the star. So what's happening here? Now, this is strong Aquarius energy, But this is also us going after what we wish for. And this is seeing not the, I cross my fingers, I hope I get this in the mail, or I hope, I win this, the lottery or something like that. It's what our soul deeply, deeply wishes for. It's the sense of being seen. It's the sense of understanding and compassion and love. And so the star comes forward, and wishes are coming forward during this time. And as beautiful as it can be for us, it can also be very overwhelming. My wishes, my desires, what I've been dreaming of comes forward. How do I handle this? How do I move this forward? Where do I need to be? It moves us then, as this comes forward, to our future energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And this is the King of Cups. I love this. So whenever the cups come forward, especially the court cards within the cups, that's the heart. And when we're talking about love, we want to see the cups. So here with the King of Cups, it's like I'm meeting that person who is so powerful in love. So it can be, I just see it as the perfect match. Like that's what keeps on coming forward. It's like, it's your perfect match, Aries. It doesn't mean that this has to happen all at once, but the future is moving forward and finding that match, that power, that person who looks at their heart and says, this is my heart. I'm not giving it away to anybody else. I'm not giving you full control over it. I know my heart. I know what I love. I know what I need. And I know that you help amplify it. And that's what we're also finding with this person. It's that it just seems easier. Now, for those of us who might have grown up in chaotic homes, especially when it came to love, or, always had very chaotic relationships, this can feel odd. It can be like, well, what the heck is missing here? Like, why does this feel so comfortable? And we're waiting for the rug to be torn out from underneath us. We have to be aware if that's the energy that we're feeling around us, like, okay, what's going on? We need to also express that to our partner. Because if our partner doesn't understand that we have some insecurities when it comes to love because of our history, they won't be able to really, nobody's ever fully able to understand where another person is coming from 150% because they're not us and we're not them. But if we don't express it, they won't be able to say, okay, there's scars here. Okay, there's mistrust here. Let's work this out together. Or say, I'm not that person and let me prove it to you, kind of thing. So we can't be putting them and testing them all the time to see when they'll mess up, when things will fall apart, because we're kind of projecting things are going to fall apart anyway. And I'm kind of going to get out of there before they do. So here with the King of Cups, this is really mature love. This is powerful, powerful, powerful love that's coming forward. We might not be ready for it, but it is definitely coming into our sphere of being. And that is an extraordinary thing. It moves us to our subconscious tarot energy, which is the Three of Cups. Now, what this is really saying here subconsciously, we need to surround ourselves with people who amplify love, who love us, who care for us, because there is this sense of having people in our lives and having had people in our lives who were supposed to love us but couldn't show up for us. And we've been chasing them. When people say daddy issues, mommy issues, things like that, we were chasing love that wasn't given when we really needed it as a child. And so here, it's also looking at the love when we went through really hard things in a relationship and the person who couldn't show up, who couldn't be there for us. They might have been a great partner when everything was fun and easy, but when things got hard, when things got complicated, no, they twisted everything and made it our fault. So here, just be very aware of this. Be aware of what love you're going after, what words you're surrounding yourself with as you go to sleep at night. In the subconscious, when you're talking about love, is it the words of somebody who says, oh my gosh, you're just wonderful? You're just so wonderful and I love you? Or is it that you have to prove that you're good enough for me to love? You weren't what I wanted, but I guess I'm stuck with you type of thing. Because we're going to be chasing after a third party's idea of what love is. And we need to make sure that person that's kind of guiding us during this time is not a total jerk, is not the person that when we say, okay, when you go to your therapist or when you talk to your friend and they're like, where does this come from? It's like, oh my gosh, it's from my, father, mother, teacher, uncle, aunt, grandparent, whomever it was who was supposed to love us and care for us and just couldn't. So that comes forward. Or, our former lover who just absolutely broke our hearts. It moves us to our subconscious present energy, and that's the Knight of Swords. Not the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords. There could be a young energy. This doesn't have to be a young person, though I do see it more as a child, but this is a young energy that is asking questions, that is cutting through doubts and fears and negativities. And they don't realize that they're kind of stepping out of other, like the comfort zone of people. They're pushing the envelope. And so we're going to find ourselves pushing this envelope, asking these questions, really being guided by this energy of why not? Why not? Why not ask us questions? Why not figure things out? Why not look deeper? Our subconscious present energy is the Eight of Wands. Things are moving quickly. So in our lives, it could be career-wise, things are moving really quickly. It could be emotionally, spiritually, when we're looking at things are moving really quickly. And we're like, okay, am I ready for this? And subconsciously, in our inner self, things are moving much more quickly than it might be moving to the eyes of everybody else. So just be aware of this. It moves us then to our subconscious future energy, and that's the Queen of Wands. That's us. So we're coming together. We have the Queen of Wands coming together with the King of Cups. Our passion, our determination, coming together with our hearts and our souls and what we deeply want. And this is a real time where we're owning our energy. We're owning what we desire from life. We're also looking at what brings me joy, what brings me happiness. Where's the magic, the spark, the beauty, the brilliance that is me? Where does that come from? How does that build within me? How do I utilize it? And this is really also telling us there's no age limit to love. There's no, you've been through too much to ever find love again. That's not relevant. This is saying, let your heart, let yourself shine. It brings us to our energy to be mindful of during this time. And it is, the Four of Pentacles. This is vampiric energy. This is having our hearts locked away. This is having locked away what we really want, what we really desire. I'll only let myself dream this much. I'll only let myself, go after or want this much. Because if I go for all of it, then the disappointment can be horrendous. So understanding that there's still vampiric energy that's draining us. There's energy in our lives that are calling and demanding too much. We need to recognize this. This could be at work. This could be at home. This could be, the past coming in, and just the fears of what has been repeating themselves can just be completely overwhelming. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is flexibility. And this is the sacral chakra. So this is where our creativity is held. This is where our sensuality is held. And Spirit is really saying here, be more flexible within what you want. And it's not saying conform to what somebody else wants or be pressured into what another person wants to do. It's saying you don't have to be rigid within your desires. It doesn't have to follow somebody else's norms or what we thought was supposed to be. Let yourself open up and let your body move. Let you move. It's like embracing dance or yoga or just something that, some sort of dance, some sort of movement of the body that has us more present within ourselves. And all of a sudden, by doing so, we connect much more powerfully, much more presently with where we want to go and who we want to be and how we want to express our love and desires within life, and how we're also healing, because the sacral chakra also holds not only all the trauma from this life, but all our trauma from past lives. And so as we move our bodies, as we express with our bodies, we start to release the stagnation that has been building within us. All right. And I see this, the best thing to do when embracing the sacral chakra is to dance outside, is to, and if we're a little bit embarrassed, going somewhere where people can't see us, if we don't have, a yard of our own or anything like that, going somewhere where it's a bit more private can be very beneficial, because we can let ourselves just kind of not be self-conscious, not be so overwhelmed. All right, Aries, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may prosperity, blessings, and love always be with you.